Raphael is one of the actors in our feature-length film called Mr. Advocate. It releases this summer, who plays one of the dads. So, Raphael, why don't you tell us about the dads and your experience playing that character?
Um, my character, I get a sense that he's very overzealous in his involvement in his child's schoolwork, and you can tell he's already got his mind a little bit made up when they go into the meeting with the principal, and so I think he's definitely he's all about the kids, his kid in particular, for sure. And so when the principal starts to give his reasons why he's motivated to do what he does, you can tell my character is he's not having it. So,
Okay, and you said the word overzealous. Was he overzealous or just a concerned parent?
well, it depends on who you ask, right? He would never call
Okay.
himself overzealous. Uh, but yeah, I, I I can relate to him just because my kid is special needs, and I have to advocate to a high degree, and just going in having the expectations that people are going to take care of business because they say they are doesn't necessarily make it so. So the character resonated with me just because I've had to go uh, above and beyond just to make sure uh, that the minimum was done. And anything extra, I have to make sure is actually being executed. So that's how that's how I connected with the character in Mr. Advocate for sure.
Okay, cool. And our editor, Jordan, who's also the DP, actually sent me the revised latest edit, and it has the captions, so I have to go through it today. But looking over the footage, your acting skills are so extraordinary. I'm not just saying that, but because I've
Oh,
seen the film so many times, and it's the details of your character, because you're in a group called Donuts with Dads,
mm,
and there's four of you all, so it's a group. However, you still, each actor is needed even though it's a group,
mm,
and each dad is an individual, so you can see your expressions even though you're in a group, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like,
Mm.
so each actor is important in that group. So thank you for bringing it. And how, one question, well, what was your experience? Have you worked before with a group, in a group setting like that as an actor? And then when did you get started acting?
Um, uh, yes, I have worked in a group setting um, for sure. Um, uh, I've worked in a couple group settings. Once as a soldier, another one in a Alcoholics Anonymous group, another one in a group of fighters. Another one is a group of cops. I've done a lot, kind of like in the group setting, and I understand what you're saying. You know, you want to make sure that the individual characteristics and the individual characters, even from the just slight movements and just the way you move, stand out, so the audience recognize them as distinct characters. Um, the answer to your second question is, I started off as a theater kid, and so I started in theater when I was little, probably like second or third grade. And so
Oh,
yeah. And so I did that for a while, and then I stopped for a while, and then I came back to stage and film probably in 2011. Um, and since then, I've just been mostly film, way more film than stage at this point. But the origin came from theater, so I'm always showed love to theater. But I always give props to theater because I feel like that's where a lot of the original discipline came from, for sure. So, um, but yeah, 2011 got back into it, and it's been a blessing for every opportunity to meet such wonderful, creative people such as yourself.
And when you were in second grade, was that the theater group you were in, or was it at your school, or how did your parents notice that you were interested in acting? How did you end up a in theater?
So it's funny. It was at my school. It's funny because I went to a Spanish boarding school, and
Oh.
so it was like but Spain Spanish, right? So like, I learned like Castilian, which is kind of a older dialect of Espanol. And so my first one of my first characters was I did the little drummer boy in Spanish, and yeah, in a play. And I didn't know this until a couple years ago, but my mom and dad had no idea. Um, it wasn't like a conscious secret I kept from them, but I guess I was just practicing by myself or something. I don't know. So whenever they came to see the play, and I did the whole play in Spanish, they they were like, you know, what was that? Right? And so, like I said, I didn't find this out until like a couple of years ago. They were like, "Yeah, we had no idea that you were going to do the play all in Spanish." And I was like, "Really?" She was like, "Yeah, you never said anything." So yeah, that was one of my first plays, and then I did outside of that in theater, I did my first standalone play that I did. I was in middle school, and it was Rudyard Kipling's "How the Elephant Got His Long Nose." That was like one of my first ones. I was a big fan of Rudyard Kipling, and so I used to just do all kinds of stuff from Jungle Book, How the Elephant Got Its Nose, just different things like that. And I used to, and I'm big fan of Shel Silverstein as well. So I used to do a lot of the poetry from Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Hmm.
So I think I still actually have that in the house right now. So yeah,
Yeah, that's funny. I have about three or four of Shel Silverstein's books from when I was little. I actually have some of the poems memorized.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow, so you spent some time in Spain.
No, the Spanish boarding school was actually here. It was yeah, it was actually here. Uh, yeah, I don't know why I went to that school, but I did, and but yeah, it was a boarding school, and so my mom and dad used to travel a lot, so it was here in the States, and so yeah, but I was so young, I didn't know it was anything weird or anything different. You know what I mean? I thought that was just kind of going to school, right? And so a lot of my like classmates stayed there at the school, but since it was local to my house, I was home. You know what I mean? And so, but it was a boarding school nonetheless. So like there were dorms on campus, and I mean, it's a boarding school, right? The kids lived at the school, right? And so the school does not exist anymore. It's like it's gone now. But I was there in my young years, and that's where I got started in theater. Um, that's where it all started. I think it's
Cool.
the most I've talked. I think this is the most I've talked about it since I was like in third grade for sure.
What?
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's good. You want to continue on it?
sure. I mean, whatever you want to know. It's just
Yeah,
interesting. I think about it. Right.
yeah, we can. And then after that, Andre has a question. What's your favorite type of role to play? Andre's an actor. Remember, he played the teacher with BZ. You weren't on set that day,
Okay.
but yeah, you'll see him
Uh,
in the film.
yeah. My favorite role to play. Um, I don't know. I mean, I pretty much like whatever's interesting. I think I like characters that have a bit of mystery to it. Or let me rephrase that. I like characters where I can add a little bit of mystery to it, right? And put some dynamics on it. And obviously that I give credit to the directors that allow me to do that. Because a lot of that can come from just nuance, you know what I mean? And just depending on how much time you actually have on screen, you have to make these kind of decisions on how to give your character depth and make it memorable. So Um, I so I really just I like it all. I mean, really, every experience is something new, and I actually I enjoy the process of understanding each character. So, um, I definitely like playing a villain for sure. Uh, and in the sense of like I play that villain, and then people see me afterwards, and they're just kind of like played that a little too good, man. And so, um, which I think is unfair, just because it's like if you play a good guy, people are like, "Wow, you're really good," but if you play a bad guy, people are like, "Oh, I don't know." So, um, so I think I enjoy the villain, playing the villain.
Okay.
Not
I,
all the time though. Not all the time. I don't want to get typecast. I don't want to be a villain. I want to be the bad guy all the time.
you have a range of characters.
I like playing a range. Like the range, the better. It just keeps it keeps the. You got to work those muscles, right?
Yes. Well, we have another actor. Do you remember Angel from our other feature film, Sweet Chariot?
The one that played my patient.
Yes, she
Yeah.
says she's on. She says Raphael is such a great actor. I am still mad at him.
What you, oh, see, that's what I'm talking about, though. Just like so for context for the audience, it's like I played, a doctor with not a very a poor bedside manner. Let's put it like that. And so, yeah, I, I, it was me. It was the character, Angel. It's a character. I'm really a nice guy.
And you guys did great in that scene as well. So many microaggressions. I loved it. It's perfect. I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Me
The
too.
finished film. Yes. Yes. So, back to your childhood acting.
Okay.
So you talked about the Spanish school, you talked about middle school, that play you did.
So, yeah. Well, once again, like I said, I pretty much owe a lot of that experience to being able to do what I do in film. Um, I saw there was an interview with Denzel Washington when he was talking about how film is a director's medium and stage is an actor's medium in the sense of, in stage you're live, right? In theater, you're live, so you can't just cut and redo the lines. It's like you got to know your lines, you got to know your blocking. You can't turn your back to the crowd. So, when you're on stage, the most you can kind of turn is like this, right? Or like, you know what I mean? Like you can't turn all the way around. You just don't do that on stage. You can't put your back to the stage. And so, I think I've carried a lot of that um, training and experience into film in the sense where I'm very aware of my surroundings and how far I can go, and I'm asking you, I'm asking the director, okay, like where's the edge of the frame? How far can I move? How much freedom do I get? Just because the difference between another difference between stage and film is you know what you do in film is going to get further processed and cut and done from different angles and stuff like that. So the way you experience it as an actor on set is going to translate different in the final product, the way it's edited and the angles that the editor and the director and producers finally choose. And so you have to go into that knowing that yeah, it's going to be further manipulated. So you have to make sure that when you're presenting it in a way that no matter how it's cut, it's still effective and impactful.
Got you. And what was your favorite scene in Mr. Advocate?
The I don't want to give it away. You already know one. One is where we improvised a little bit with the box, with the at leaving the table. I'm not going to give a spoiler about that. But I haven't seen the final cut of it, but it was super fun doing like the hallway walk. You know what I mean? We're all lined up walking down the hallway. Like I love that. It gives me kind of like these cowboy, the memories of the cowboys and the showdown at dusk, and I love stuff like that. The grand entrance or the grand movement
Yes.
through the hallway. So that was definitely one of my favorites for sure.
And you guys killed it. That was exactly the vibe that I was going for. Like these dads are about it. You mess with their kids and they're about to have a showdown.
Yeah,
And yeah, I love that. I love both of those things that you talked about. The one with the box. Thank you for ad libbing. All of you actors ad libbed and just added what made sense to you. And that's
mm.
perfect. Like you guys made my job super easy. I didn't have to do anything. But
Well,
yes,
that's what we're
that
here for. That's what we're here for. You know what I
I,
mean? It's just
I
like we want
love
to
it.
make, if the director's happy, then hey, then we're doing our job, right? So
Yes, that scene, the box was hilarious. It is like perfect. Yeah. um, so we have about 5 minutes left. What tell us about some of your other projects maybe that you have coming out this year, if you can.
sure. The things that I can talk about, sure. There's a movie called Cities Like Oakland, which is actually playing at the Brooklyn Film Festival right now. Actually, it's actually
Okay,
playing. Uh-huh. And
congrats.
yeah, and so and then there is another movie called How to Eat an Elephant, which is going to play at the New Parkway Theater this Sunday at noon in Oakland. So it was produced by Tricky Ink Productions. So you can get your tickets on Tricky Ink Productions, or you can go to the New Parkway Theater's website, and if you look at the link on Sunday, this coming Sunday, June 7th, it'll go to Tricky Ink's webpage, and you can get tickets there as well. And so that's a short film. There'll be about an hour, a little bit over an hour's worth of short films, so maybe about 5 or 6 short films. But one of the movies I'm in is called How to Eat an Elephant, and that will be playing at New Parkway Theater. Um, I'm trying to think what else. I'm always bad at this when you call me on the spot. Um, um, I think that's it. As far as stuff that's filmed that I can talk about, that's done. And then Shia Shabazz, I played a small part in a movie that she made called Dawn that actually played at Cannes. And
Yes,
so,
congrats.
so shout out to Shia and shout out, thank you, Cannes, for playing a wonderful film. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited to see it. Played a small part in that, so I'm excited to see that. But that's making its rounds as well. And and yeah, I've probably got maybe about 3 or 4 projects that we're working on to well that I'm working on that's we should start production sometime this this summer. So
Mhm.
we'll see what that is. But I'm very excited about the about what's to come for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, and Don is screening June 12th through 15th virtually. I'll put it in the
Okay.
notes. Yeah, the
Okay.
replay so
All
people
right.
can check it out. Yeah. Um so last question we can end it with Mr. Advocate and any thoughts you have just about the storyline or AI or your thoughts when you first got the script.
Um, I think once again, what resonated with me was like I definitely the the presence of of black males in education for sure. I used to teach, and
What?
yeah, I used to teach.
You never said anything.
Yeah, I used to teach back in Montgomery County, Maryland, and
What?
yeah, just for a little bit, just for a little bit.
Say more.
Yeah, no, I
What
used to
what
teach for a
what
little bit.
grade?
All grades. I did K through high school. Yeah, all the way. Yep. And so, um, and just depending on where I was, I was kind of a unicorn in the sense of like because there weren't a lot of like black males teaching, and yeah, and especially young black males because at that time I was like my early 20s, you know, and so that's what resonated with me a lot is seeing not just and even the principal. I mean, having a black male as the principal, black male as the teachers, but then these black men, these black fathers, right, being very involved with their child's education and very feeling very impacted by the changes that were happening by it, and then taking it upon themselves to go to the school and talk to the principals and talk to the administration. And I like that, just because we don't see a lot of that in television and in film. We don't see a lot of like the kind of the black male uh, involvement in it, without it being very kind of flat and one dimensional in the sense of like like the guys coming in, everybody's mad and angry, and they took off work for this, and so they only have like a some small window of time to really. It was like, no, these are dads with donuts. It's like, no, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk about this, and like, you know what I mean? It's a round table like discussion, and we're like, we got time today, right? We're gonna make time today. So that's what I definitely appreciated about that for sure.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Raphael, for your time.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, our film screens at Brave Maker Film Festival. The festival is July 8th through 12th. I don't know the exact date yet. We'll find out soon. And then we're also going to have our own premiere in Richmond, California, at a movie theater in mid August. So stay tuned for those details. Thanks so much. It's been great working with you, Raphael.
Yeah, we got more work to do.